Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Earthdawn. We were gone for 2 weeks, and I didn't upload all of the backlog because I'm still a piece of crap. Anyways, sorry for the 2 week hiatus. If you're watching this live, last week was DMV being a fucking nightmare to Dakota.
I want to die.
Kaja
still.
can't cut his way through there.
He was fighting the minions of the Mad Passion Dis at the DMV.
Absolutely.
Was it like half the people didn't come with any of their stuff, including the form they needed?
Yep. They had to call everyone up ahead of me. They had to call everyone up. Be like, listen, if you don't have your paper, make a line. We'll give you your papers, and then go back in the normal line so you can come in and do stuff at a quick pace. Most of the people went up there. I wanted to die.
I don't know how someone goes to the DMV without at least their license, too, from the sound of it. Anyways.
Because America, that's how.
Yeah, pretty much. But
I mean,
yeah.
I joke, but we have people that stupid here as well, so.
There's idiots all over the world.
It's just humanity in general.
Yeah. There's some amazingly smart people, and they're jumping ship off this planet quickly.
Off to Mars.
But yeah. I mean, if that option becomes a thing where it's like, oh, do you want to go help colonize Mars? Yeah, let's go. Later.
Okay, so, I mean, in all seriousness, would you actually do that?
Oh, fuck no.
There is a good chance if me and Bug can go, yeah. Because it's one of those things like I've always, when I was younger, much younger, I wanted to be an astronaut. And I was told no by my parents in a weird way.
But here's what you need to remember. You won't have any internet up there.
How do you know?
I'm pretty damn sure we don't have the technology for that.
It's still dial-up.
We have relays. It will be
dial-up
a
will be
massive
faster.
delay. It'll be a massive
With
delay, but
even with the knowledge that it was a one-way trip and that you would not return, you'd still do it.
Oh, you're sure it's hell not streaming anything, I'll tell you that.
Yep. Well, it's one of those things like I figure it'd be, all right, so if I am still trying to do this, it's vlogging on Mars and sending it up via, satellite relays. And then essentially, oh, hey, look, here's this series that came out last year. Let's watch it now.
I like Pip Drabane says that you are an astronaut.
Yep. Now you know why I don't talk to my parents. They crushed that dream. But anyways.
One of many reasons.
Oh, yeah. Laundry list I am not going into right now. But, yes.
Not without enough Tide Pods.
Actually, I'm just going to drink straight bleach if I'm going to do this. You know what? Why waste Tide Pods? They're expensive.
Straight bleach with a Tide Pod chaser.
Ooh, delicious.
But yes, so as we ended last time, you guys were going to your new trainers, 3 dragons that were scoured amongst Barsaive. Krendar's being a dragon up in the Bloodwoods, in a deep dark cave down in the ground.
Spoopy drag.
Yep, covered.
Spooky Durg.
Is a horde of freaking bones and everything.
Feels homey.
Wylands
A
was
horde of ghosts would be hard to sleep on.
Wylands was down in Thunder Mountain with essentially the entrance being a stage and the dragon coming out just playing music for him.
Yeah, that's right. He was the thunder voice or thunder something.
Yep. And Kaja's being in the Thailand Mountains with a dragon that essentially quickly attacked him and to see his merit. But a month has passed. You have all trained with your dragons through exhaustive measures in ways that any name giver who may be gifted like you guys would love to do, learning from the originals or some of the originals. And what was your training like, and who would like to go first?
Chris wants to go first.
No, go ahead. I was just waiting to see if anyone else was going to volunteer. I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
I'll go first. Mine is kind of boring and kind of funny. Have you ever seen those cartoons where it's the dude with the sword who runs forward, gets hit by something big, and then just keeps going and repeating.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's that.
So
It
the
was that for
Hercules
about-
training method. Just
Yeah, just run at
Just-
it.
You look like what was his name? Jubei in Ninja Scroll when he's fighting the big bad at the end.
God.
He
Yeah.
just
I
keeps
don't know,
charging.
That sounds a lot more blunt than I would have expected. I would have expected something more like a Three Musketeers montage.
Well, the two things I learned was how to properly hit things with my tail, which comes from being hit with the dragon's tail.
Oh,
And
there you
then
go.
how to swing two weapons, because eventually the sword got put so far away when I got flung into the wall. I just
You
picked
just
up two
spare.
random things and I just went for it.
Yep.
Yeah, so now you can dual wield.
Yeah. And yeah.
Okay.
And
Nice.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, and
There's-
what's the new thing you can do with your karma now?
Oh, I can add karma to damage.
Ooh.
Fuck you, damage. Yeah, look at him. Look at him.
Well,
He's
the good thing
upset.
is I'm going to send an old favorite at you guys soon, so I get to have my happy days.
I mean, let's be honest. The karma die is a lot smaller than your existing damage already, but hey, more damage.
Yeah.
Watch it. It
Nickel
will
and
fucking-
dime, all you want. Yeah.
It'll explode. That's fucking nice.
Anyways, all right. So yours was the cartooniest of it right now.
I can
Oh,
I can see that happening. Yeah.
All right. Next.
I'll go. So
Okay.
Wyland basically he learned most of his abilities have to do with helping other people out.
Mhm.
So he learned a lot in regards to that because his discipline talent for the circle is inspire others. So he learned how to properly motivate people, his companions, in a magical way. And then also his extra ability is once per round he can spend a karma point to add to another character's test by offering encouragement. So I can now help, Gregory with his spellcasting,
Yeah.
or
Basically, it's like what
Kaju
we
with his
already
sword
do with our own
swinging.
karma, but he can do it for other people now.
Exactly.
So you're
So-
truly becoming the cheerleader of the team.
I
Oh,
was
yeah.
yes, I was basically, yes, mine was Bring It On. That was a movie training montage from Bring It On, including the car wash scene as well.
I'm just
Wow.
wondering how many times you got slapped whenever you're saying these are not jazz hands. These are not jazz.
And
No,
what was your
yours
talent
are
option?
jazz claws. My talent option. I took this
Jazz
one
claws,
was
yeah.
one. This one was one I took that more befit the performer in me, but yet
Mhm.
still gave a nod to my original trainer. The blade juggle.
I knew that's what you're getting at when you were describing it that
yeah.
way.
Yeah, it was
It's that's a bit of a complicated one, but pretty useful.
exactly. So yeah, so I'm a blade juggler and I can inspire others, and I've got I need a lot of karma. I wish I could get extra karma.
So
but
for anybody out there who's wondering about blade juggle, if you know what a weapon kata is, where you're doing defensive slashes and everything with your weapon, he does that by juggling knives and stuff.
yes.
He can block attacks by juggling knives and sort of do a riposte with it as well.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool actually. So that's how he spent most of his days.
Okie dokie. And finally, Krendar, you can't put it off anymore.
Well, I just don't want to be the guy stealing center stage, you know? Anyway, my talent option was a bit more bland because very useful still, though. I have an enhanced spell matrix now. And technically, one of my pre-existing spell matrices turned into an enhanced matrix as well. So now I have 4 matrices instead of 3. And 2 of them are enhanced, which means they can hold one thread in them already. So now I can cast 2 of my spells that I have ready can be cast with 1 less thread than usual. So I've got 2 spells that have 1 thread required on them in there, so now I can cast them instantly. Also, I got my 2 new abilities are I can spend karma on any test versus a horror or horror construct or undead. So anything I'm doing against them, I can boost my damage or double karma them or something like that. Or even if it's something that's not necessarily a talent. Anything I do against them, like if I'm having a battle of wills against an undead, or like sometimes those things will do like a paralytic thing to us, then we have to do a willpower roll to bust out of the paralyzation.
Yep.
Yes.
If it's an undead horror construct or horror that did it to me, I could spend karma on trying to bust out of it, for example.
Mm.
And I also have the most complicated new talent on the team called Summon Spirit Ally. So now, instead of just casting a spell where a fog ghost shows up and murders everybody in sight, I can now do a half-an-hour ritual to summon an ally spirit and basically negotiate terms with it and come to a deal so that they can aid me for an hour or so.
I forgot to look through all of this, and I didn't know there's elemental ones.
Well, you don't have to worry about that because I'm not an elementalist. But basically, this is.
Knowing you fucks, you're gonna try to call one up.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, not at some point, obviously, but it's not necessarily ghosts, although it can be. But it can also be spirits from other realms, or actually, this overlaps a lot with Shadowrun. If anybody watching this is familiar with Shadowrun at all, because this is very similar to. This is basically what shamans in Shadowrun do. With
Are you telling me that Earthdawn is kind of similar to Shadowrun?
Oh my
What?
god!
Yeah, I know,
What is that?
we've had the connection of that thing before, but I'm saying this is a mechanical overlap
Yeah.
at this point.
Next game, you guys will be descendants of your character.
That's
So, for
what I
example-
said.
For example, like there might be a city spirit that has an affinity with a city that it's inhabits.
Oh god, even worse, it's Assassin's Creed level. You guys, this is all a simulation, just letting you learn your
Yeah.
previous lives.
Or things like that. So I can summon various different types of otherworldly spirits and get one or two services out of them. So
Nice.
rules mechanics wise, it's a bit complicated. But yeah, I can actually do something more than just an angry patch of fog at this point.
Okay.
An angry patch.
And they may or and their systems may or may not necessarily be combat related even.
So many spoilers, yes. But okay. But yeah, so the ally spirit's gonna be a fun thing when you decide to do that. But yeah, so as you finish up your training, in a few days, as you're counting down the days, well, Kaja, as you're told the days, because you're in a kind of a delirious haze of exhaustion from being whapped in the head and needing to do more and more push-ups. You know that, and somebody's supposed to be coming to pick you up. And each of you, as you're approaching the end of this day, getting ready to be picked up, the dragons, they come to you in a form that they've been assuming the entire time. Kaja, it's more of a Tiskrang, so they can, help train you. Island, it's one of the they more go to Windling because they feel that's a little bit more happy. And Grigori, it's just looks like a human wearing a skull as a helmet and such. And they tell you they don't want you to take the easy route getting back home. You must journey. You have to cement yourself a little bit more and spend some time by yourselves.
So practice our new abilities on our way home, in other words.
Yep. And so they say you should head out now, as it's a little bit earlier in the day, so you still got a few hours of light. And you should head to a major city near here. Maybe you'll find some help. And to Kaja, they go, not Kratos, don't go south. Not for you right now. Because the thing presiding over this has not read up on that city yet.
I'll go north. I think I've been there before.
Okay. So, Grigori, as you're heading out, you start walking along the river, going south, and you see what looks to be an older man on a boat that looks equally as old. with a mule that's showing its signs of aging, carrying a bunch of wares. And you just hear him slowly singing a song. As he comes closer to you, he notices you and hails you down. Sonny! Sonny!
What is it?
Do you want to ride on the boat? Be quicker than walking along the way.
Where are you going?
Hey, I'm going to Barter Town. Have to go trade in some wares.
This sounds good. Yes, thank you.
Yes. And as you get on, he hands you the oar. If you don't mind, just old bones, not what they used to be.
This is fair.
All right. And how are you doing, Sasha? As he turns to the donkey and starts talking. Slowly feeding it. You notice he cares for the donkey fairly well. Just starts asking you questions like what you're doing out here, where are you from. Do you respond like by telling him what you're doing and such, or do you just kind of play it off? What? Sorry.
Oh, I was just learning necromancy from a dragon. No. I'll tell him basically that I'm just exploring, seeing the world a little, learning from my travels.
Dangerous place to be exploring, the Bloodwood.
Yes, it must be very careful.
Oh, some of those blood elves, they're a little bit, they have a temper to them, don't they?
Sometimes, but they are not so bad when you get to know them.
Ah, spent some time with them, have we?
A little bit.
With that, he kind of stops and just goes back to checking his wares and making sure his pack mule's okay. Offers you a drink occasionally.
Sure. Fair enough.
Yeah, and it's
I
gonna
don't
take
have much to offer him back, but
well, you're rowing, so he doesn't have to do that. So.
I mean, other than that, I should say.
Yep. And for you, as it comes close to night, he offers a spare tent. It's kind of raggedy, but having to spend a night in the Bloodwoods, it's better in a tent than outside in the open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wyland, as you're heading out mountains,
Yes.
you start wandering away, and you're kind of seen off in a very intricate flute solo, where he has playing 3 flutes at once.
Nice. It was a great video, by the
That
way.
was a
I saw
stupid
that.
fucking clip.
I loved it.
you
That was
guys-
a good tune.
You guys want to shove
That guy
that
was
into the
super
chat,
tryhard,
so-
but he did a good job.
It was an
He did a
old
very
German
good
dude. But yeah, if you guys want to put that clip in the chat so they know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so they you start heading out, and it's a fairly nice day, overcast, nice open area. And as you're going through, you see what looks to be a figure of a person shuffling along, and kind of intersecting the path as you're going north. Because as you leave there, you realize, oh, you're near your old trainer's area. Maybe you can get a boat. Help. And
Yes.
you come across a small child. Well, child to you. And they're covered up in like some very tattered clothing. And as they get closer to you, they just kind of they jump back real quick and yes. Sorry, excuse me.
Sorry for what? You were merely walking along the path, and I was just catching up to you. My strides are a bit longer than yours, and you're shuffling. Are you all right?
There's not many. What? Hi. Yes.
Where are your parents?
They're rather not talked about them. Look, I need some help. You have a sword. Are you good with that?
Oh, you've come to the wrong man.
Let's put it this way, young one. I am better than I used to be. Where are you? Are you in danger? Is there some sort of trouble?
Well, given the world we live in, there's always seems to be trouble. Look,
Yes, but let's speak a bit more specifically, child. We can yes,
This
of
child is
course.
strangely philosophical
Yes, yes.
for a kid.
Trouble exists, yes,
Generation
day
Z
in and
kid.
day out.
But there. She sits there and she kind of pulls back the thing, and you can kind of see her face is smudged, and she has a cut that's healing on her cheek,
Hmm.
and she just looks and like, I can pay you if you can be a bodyguard up to Bartertown, please.
I'm sorry, up to Bartertown? Wait a second. You're walking by yourself, and does she look like she has much gear on her?
From doing a quick glance over, you can't see much if you're from in there, but as she kind of shuffles, you see a pouch of pouch of coins as she kind of sits there and offers, she says she can pay, a small knife, and just regular clothing. It doesn't look like she's prepared much.
You're walking leagues to Bartertown. You have no traveling supplies whatsoever. That bag of coins would get stolen off you in the next moderately sized town that we pass through. Are you fleeing something, or is there something else going on here? I'm happy to walk with you, but
Do a first impression.
I can do that. I can do that when I can find it. Someday I'll have a double monitor set up just like you fancy gentlemen, and
Well, I have 3.
oh jeez. Okay, so now all you're doing is just making me feel bad.
I have
He's
my real
50%
monitor.
fancier than me, isn't he?
I have a small monitor penis, and you guys aren't helping the situation.
Okay, that's good enough. She's just a peasant kid, a normal kid.
She's a member of the Great Unwashed. Her social defense is but 5.
5. That's higher than I expected.
But okay, so
Damn urchins.
she sits there and is like, my family's not the greatest. They wanted me to marry somebody who I know I shouldn't be with. So I have a friend who left years ago. Was slightly older than me. Set up a shop in Bartertown, and she said if I ever needed to, I can find her there and I'll get some help. And I just need to get away from the village.
Well, at least you're heading in the right direction as far as that goes. Yes, personal problems.
From what you knew, she's headed from like this area this way.
No. Well, actually, she's still heading in the right direction because going through the Servos jungle would mean certain death for this one. So,
yeah.
Well, yes, I'll walk with you, but it's important that you should know that running from your problems never ultimately solves them, my dear. But I am
now, tiny child,
my
get back in there and
made
fist fight those monsters.
Well, as you sit there and say running from problems, well, I tried stabbing it, and that just made the problem worse.
Oh, so you did stand up for yourself at least. Good for you. I'll pat her on the head. Well, I'll tell you what.
Urchin has a taste for blood now.
I haven't been around name giver companionship of this sort for at least a month, so I'm happy to have a traveling companion. Let's go. We'll talk about this whole payment thing later, should we run into trouble.
Thank you. And she thanks you, and you start directing her towards Rivelin, trying to give her the idea that yes, there's some usefulness up there. And it takes you a few more days, and essentially, whenever it comes down to nighttime, you offer her your tent. Because you're a gentleman.
I do all right. But yes.
And she looks like a kid that would die underneath the stars. Yeah, you kind of continue. She is asking, like, she first asks your name and like what you're doing out here in the middle. Are you a traveler or adventurer?
Yes and yes. and I am an adept of some skill, and I'm on the process of reuniting with my companions.
This is not a gentleman. It's Nelson.
Oh my gosh! Hey, Scoot, what's up, buddy?
Also, I like the troubadour of some skill. Not a lot of it, but some.
Well, I don't want to be modest. He's a Scandinavian Lutheran elf, and so he has natural modesty built in.
So Snelson is somebody you know?
He's a buddy from my old gaming group, way
Awesome.
back in the day. Yeah.
Well, welcome to this abomination of a game I'm running. Gentleman, but Wyland is. But yeah, so she's just asking basic questions. Like, do you always? One of the things she asks that kind of starts you on a little bit of a storytelling binge is, do you travel alone or companions? And you give a abbreviated version of traveling with Kaja and Grigori.
Oh, are you kidding? He's the troubadour. It's not abbreviated at all.
Well,
Yeah, no,
well,
we
trying to keep
we have a
horror
long
things
road to
away.
travel. Yeah. Oh, well,
It takes hours.
Actually, when it comes to actually discussing our conflicts with horrors, I will mention them. And I'll talk about their general nastiness, and I'll be sure to beef up the exploits of not only myself but Grigori and of course Kaja as well. And
Kaja's
all
got the
of
flashiest exploits.
Absolutely. I'll be sure, because he's such an unusual name giver, being into Scrang, and I'll elaborate and exaggerate in regards to the cool stuff that he does with his tail and all of those things. I'll make a tale of his tail, so to speak.
It's a tale of a tale, see?
Yeah. Let me tell you how this goes.
Okay. And that's a bit of your journey there. And so we move over to Kaja. As you head out the temple, walking down, or head out the cave more than anything, walking down the mountain, you see a very large figure resting at the bottom. It looks like a troll with a sword much akin to its size on its back.
Just kind of go down, calling out, "Hello!" I haven't seen anybody but a dragon. I'm slightly desperate for non-giant friends.
As you say that, you see him jump up and pull the sword, and just kind of look like a little fearful in his eyes as he stands there with the stance ready.
Oh, whoa, relax. I'm not here to hurt you, unless you're here to hurt me.
Not going back to there.
Back where?
You're not from Scavia? Not here to take me back?
No, I've been in a cave for a month. I'm not here to take you anywhere that you don't want to be, friend.
Sorry. He puts away the sword. Been a harsh few weeks. They went through. Oh fuck. Sorry, I just saw spend $350. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't have anything. Oh shit. But yes. So he just puts away his swords. Like, I apologize. It's whole thing right now. Hi. Then he puts out his hand to shake yours.
Shake his hand. Nice to meet you. I'm Kaja. What's the problem?
I'm Keko. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
They're accusing me of various things. Things I have not done, so I'm trying to get to a town where they're said to have sold something that's useful to me.
Well, I'm out. You need a traveling companion. I'll come with you.
Okay. And each of you has two more rerolls, except for Dakota, who has 3 more. So now,
Is that what the 350 was? 350 coins?
Yep.
Woo!
So
Ah.
Dakota, you're at 12. Chris, you're at 8. Krendor, you're at 11.
Lord, I have
So many rerolls.
You
I'm
keep
so
forgetting
easy.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
I'm
too.
gonna have this open now.
Actually, it's partly my fault because I bought a shit ton last time as
Yeah.
well.
Okay, I saw it now. So, thank you.
Are you keeping track of those, or should we actually
I
be
got it right
good
here.
players?
I got it right
Okay.
here, and I'm keeping track.
I got your rerolls right here, Mister.
Oh yeah, I got him right here.
In the notes is a little.
Oh
thing.
fuck! I forgot about that one. Right. Ah, yes. But yeah. He sits there and he starts walking. He's like, he mentions he's going to Bartertown because he's the thing he's looking for. You know.
What's the thing exactly? It's a nice place. I've been there myself.
You know the power of names. You know how giving a full name to somebody is a kind of a bad idea depending on who they may be.
I think I've heard a friend of mine yammer on about that before. Yeah.
You've done it yourself because of your thread items.
Yeah, yes. Spelly types. They like to
I
use
put any
names.
work into those.
But it's I heard a while ago there was there's a guy in Bartertown where he can do a renaming ritual. Apparently that's really good. If you can pay for a good one, you can potentially wipe away your history. So I saved up and steal a little bit, but in for a penny, in for a pound type thing.
Well, as long as nobody's dead, I guess you got your reasons.
He kind of just says, "Look,
Nobody.
Hey,
ain't done
Kaja, you're not
anything
alone
wrong.
anymore.
Nobody that hasn't done anything wrong is dead.
Hey,
Well,
Kaja, you're not alone anymore.
by my hands, no." And he continues walking towards Bartertown, and with you in tow, talking about like how, especially like at night, he sits there and he's like, him and his family, they're there. One of them wanted wanted to take his child away from him, and he wasn't sure why. So he stood up, and essentially they came in and killed the family and framed it to make it look like him.
Oof.
So now, he, knowing that he didn't do it and that there's no way for him to clear his name because these were noble types with money to pay off people. Yeah, he ain't getting away with anything.
Well, I'll definitely help you after that, friend. That's a
Down with the man.
But he's like bringing up just the whole, from what I was told, any living thing can be renamed, and depending on the will or the power of the renaming process, it's a ritual. It can change any name giver, anything living. Some speculate that even areas could be renamed and gain new properties.
Well, you've run into the wrong one of my friends to confirm that, but I'll sure as hell be glad to help you try.
I like how this is the session that shows that the GM's been doing some research.
I have known about this for months.
Ah, we were just saving it for a rainy day, huh?
Yeah. I tried dropping hints before, but Dakota hints.
Exactly.
He
Plus, I
can't,
don't
he
know
can't
if it's
really
the thing
jump
he really
up to
wants
get
anyway.
it. Can't really-
Kasha doesn't fall very far from the Dakota.
Just scaly tail and can use his legs.
Yeah.
3 major differences.
But so you guys start heading there. Essentially, when Grigori, you spent a few days on the river just rowing, and the guys feeding you and giving you stuff to make sure you're in good shape there. And by the time you hit the bottom here, where it forks off, You ask, maybe if you'd be willing to be a bodyguard. Just escort real quick to Bartertown. He needs somebody to help him, especially through the ruins. As a pastor.
Of course, would be happy to.
All right. How about 500? 250 now, 250 when we get there.
This sounds reasonable.
So it gives you some half the coins, and you guys head off. You wander through.
Is there anything specific you may be expecting trouble from, or more general?
General.
Okay.
Actually, no. Why am I doing that Kiko's voice? Just general. Have you ever been to the ruins there? And he points out.
Which ruins were there?
The ones where your original master was.
I will tell him. There are ruins there. What brings you to this place?
Well, the quickest distance between two places is a straight line, and.
Well, yes, but why go through ruins, not around?
The quickest way. You're not really
All
there,
right,
are
fair
you?
enough.
Go ahead, one. Yeah, okay. And he makes sure Sasha's doing okay. Leaves the boat there.
Now, just out of curiosity, what was the status of that ghost that was training me in that area when I left?
Still there. Still hanging out at his tower.
Still ghosting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's still fine. It's just that he ran out of stuff to teach me then.
Yep.
Okay.
He got tired of your face.
I don't blame him. I mean, look at this monstrosity.
Have you seen me?
But yeah, so takes you about a week of walking there. Between having to make sure that the mule's okay, having to make sure the old man's okay. Dealing with like random little bugs you have to scare off occasionally.
That's okay. I have a new attack spell. Actually, technically it's an old attack spell, but I've just never used it before, and it's better.
So it's like it's new.
Well, I never used it before because it had a thread on it, so I couldn't cast it as fast as Spirit Dart. But now that I can cast it without that thread, now it's better.
Okay.
Nice.
It's got much better range on it, so I can spear bugs from farther away.
All right. All right. So, Wyland, you're on your trip with the disheveled-looking child, and
Yes, what is this disheveled-looking child's name, by the way? At some point, Wyland will probably shut his fat yapper and ask her what her name is. And then he'll proceed, as soon as he finds that out, he'll proceed to commence and continue his stories.
Nixla.
Nixla. And she's human, yes?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, app that I maybe should just throw some money at eventually.
You got a lot of
I've got a mileage out of this app. I don't know if I
Yeah.
can throw money at it though.
Well, you can. It just may not be able to catch it.
I
yeah.
had some of those fake campaign coins just
Ding.
but
Yeah.
no, it's like so Nexla, she's there and she explains, the whole thing. Her family, it's a small village, but they do have the kind of, the first settlers, and her family's one of the two families that did it.
Mhm.
And after the care was opened up, and this one they decided, yes, it's time to connect the families, even though why is her thought. It's like there's not like we're a noble lineage here. We're just a bunch of idiots that said this looks good.
Well, you shouldn't sell yourself so short. Calling yourself an idiot, first of all, is part of the problem. But there may be a deeper family history that they neglected to pass on. No, I mean, it's neither here nor there. You chose to reject that deep tradition and throw it into the trash heap. But you should take pride in yourself for wanting to strike out and forge your own path. That's what me and my friends did, and it's taken us on quite an interesting journey.
That was a good negging you just did there.
You like that? They do all right.
She sits there and looks at you. There is no tradition of the marriage thing. They decided now. I'm guessing because each generation's had less kids and There's no boys to carry on family name on my side. I'm the only child.
Well, then perhaps you made just a wise decision, and both of your families are filled with jerks. Who's to say?
And why are we heading towards this fort-looking thing?
Bartertown. Oh, the before. Oh, you mean before into
Yes.
Servidon or whatever.
Serverland.
Well, my previous trainer, my first trainer, was here, and he's very important to me, and I consider him to be part of my family in a certain way, and I want to see if he's there, and to show him I'm continuing on in pursuing the path that he helped start me down. So this is important. So you're going to get to meet him, and he's quite the dancer.
Look, Dad, I've outgrown you now.
That's right.
Now who's the
just-
master?
Yeah, like, okay.
Hmm.
Take your word on it, Mr. Adventurer, sir.
Absolutely. Wyland the Wanderer. You got to get that right. And by the way, we'll eventually make it to Bartertown. And speaking of,
Gotta
do
get the
you
branding
know-
right, kid.
Yeah, right, you're totally failing here. It's Wyland. Emphasis on the Y. And by the way, do you know who runs Bartertown? We'll have to talk about that later.
There's some talk about a Windling and Rockman, but I don't.
Well, yes, like they
Cinnamon,
like to run.
I mean.
Yeah, well, yes, they don't call them Rockmen. They don't. They're not fond of that.
My dad's not the greatest.
Well,
Except
I'm
for Johnny.
gathering
Johnny Rockman. You can call him that.
well, because that's his name is Johnny
Yeah.
Rockman.
And now there's a new addition to this fort area of an upset man who's playing the lute. Johnny Rockman.
Johnny Rockman. He's a very famous troubadour, actually. I'll tell you the story of Johnny Rockman.
But you get there
He rocks the
and
fuck out.
they're
Man.
kind of befuddled again. It's like, Island? You what? Coming from this side? What the hell?
Yes. I've got a new trainer. And I thought I was on my way back with my new traveling companion here, and thought I would stop by and see my first trainer, whose name I cannot remember.
He's kind of
Newest
hiding
party
behind you
member,
and just
small
kind of
child.
waves.
Yes. She was wandering alone, and I wanted to save her from what would have easily have been her demise.
She was wandering, just like you.
Just like me. We're twinsies.